Hey, what's up, studs? Ryan here with MandRproductions with my comparison of the LEGO 4 Privet Drive sets. These are two vastly different sets from 18 years apart. I think it's worth noting here at the front that LEGO did send me the 2020 version of this set for free to do a review, which I did a review of, but just so you know, I did get that set for free from them. The set on the left, though, is the 4728 Escape from Privet Drive set from 2002, and you can definitely tell by that very dated box art look and that young looking Harry there, very odd looking on the box, just really stands out in a way. Has 278 pieces, and when it was released in 2002 did retail for $30, but in 2020 money that's about $45, so quite a difference in price there as far as inflation goes. The set did include 3 minifigs. Moving into 2020 though, we have a much better looking box in my opinion with the 75968 4 Privet Drive set. It includes 797 pieces, retails for $70, and includes 6 minifigs. If you guys enjoyed the comparisons, make sure you hit the like button, and as always, you were using the M&R comparison format with minifigs, playability, design / displayability, value, and M&R opinion, all leading to a final score to help you decide which one is better, although I feel like this is one of those where you can already tell. Man, 2002 LEGO was just something else, wasn't it? That Ron Weasley looks ridiculous. I mean, obviously way too tall for what he was in the film, but this was before LEGO had kind of brought in the short legs and the mid legs, so you were just stuck with regular length legs, and like I said, looks absolutely ridiculous. The newer Ron Weasley leaps and bounds better. The hairpiece, of course, the face print, like I was laughing at it earlier, definitely better on the new Ron, and on the new Ron, of course, you'll get double print with the face, so that's always a great addition with the newer sets. You know, as funny as the older characters look, I also think it's kind of an interesting thing to look at, and it tells so much about how much LEGO has changed over the last 2 decades. They've gone from everything having yellow skin tones, including licensed characters, to actually making color-accurate characters in the form of, like, skin tones, and so many things about the print are so much better. The depth, the curves, the actual color is better. The print on the face, though, again, it looks a little bit washed to me. It looks like it's not, like it needs another layer of black or something. Like the eyebrows, you can kind of see through them, unlike the older one, which has much sharper and well-defined prints. So I'm not really sure what's been going on there the last few years with LEGO. This has been a problem, if you want to call it a problem. I don't know, maybe it's intentional, but definitely something I've noticed. And the hairpiece, obviously better. Removing that hairpiece, you'll see he does have a second, much more scared expression for maybe when he's in the car. The only other character crossover we have here is Vernon Dursley, and you can see just massive changes again after about 18 years for these two characters. The one on the left just looks ridiculous. From the back, he looks exactly like in Episode 2 Anakin Skywalker. By the way, I don't know if you knew that. Now you know. It looks just like it. So kind of interesting to see these characters so different after 20 years. You may think they're based off the same scene. How could they be so different? But alas, you have the second face as well. So amazing stuff here. So that leaves the 2020 version with 3 more characters than the 2002 version. And you can see that we get Petunia and Dudley Dursley here, and they just look incredible. Obviously very clean and modern figures with double-sided face prints. So great additions to the 2020 set. But we also get a Dobby figure, and he's got dual-molded small legs, wonderful torso print, and great head mold along with the face print. I'll show you what the older Dobby would have looked like if he was included in the set, and it would not have been a pretty combo, I'll tell you that. Here's what the older Dobby would have looked like if he was also in the set, and you can see not fun. Externally speaking, neither set offers much in the way of playability, at least on the front of the houses. You do have doors you can open, which is nice, but that's literally it for the front of either house, and I will save this other door is a bit tougher to open, so maybe that's a knock against the 2002 set. The vehicles, though, are where I think a lot of that playability as far as the outside of the houses comes from. And both vehicles, you know, we'll talk about how they look in a little bit, but they can fit 2 characters. This newer one from 2020 can fit them kind of front to back a lot easier than they do side by side, and plus the steering wheel is in the center, which is a little bit of an odd choice, but that is the choice they made. With the older one, though, I actually really like that you can actually fit both characters in there side by by side, and the steering wheel is on the correct side, or at least the correct side in the country they're in. So that's a lot nicer, in my opinion. And both have doors that can open and whatnot, so that's definitely like a draw there. And then you can actually open the trunks for each car to reveal, in the case of a 2002 set, kind of a string that's going to attach around a piece up there. And in this case, you have a chain that you're going to attach onto an actual piece. So the way the breakout feature worked in the O2 version is you would literally wrap this string around this piece here, and it is a bit of a short string, so you got to get the car enclosed, then you could pull it away and fly away, and you can save Harry. Like, pretty simply, you can do that, and that's awesome. So that can go back in there. It's not connected by any bricks or anything, or studs rather, like it's just in there loosely, so it could fall out relatively easily. I will say the window pieces do have like little things that stop it from going in too far, so you can push it in what is like essentially all the way, and then it stops, which is actually great. The way that feature works on the newer set, though, is you have these bars keeping Harry in. You're going to attach this to any one of them, and now that it's on there, you can fly away and take it with you, and then Harry is in there ready to be freed and escape from Privet Drive. This one has a little bit of a better connection, I would say, here, with some studs there that you kind of attach it to, but it's still plenty loose enough to just pull off very easily. You just don't have to worry about it falling off. If you were to tilt the set, it's not going to come out. So that's definitely a positive there. Another substantial amount of play is going to come from what we'll call imaginative play. That's like basically the dollhouse factor here, and you can move the characters around within the space pretty evenly throughout the two, although I think the newer interior provides a lot more space to play with, especially like workable, accurate space like beds and couches and things like that you just don't see in the older version. The older set can actually kind of spin on an axis there, which is kind of nice that you can move it around as you please. It's not the best thing ever, but it's nice that it's there, I guess, and certainly something I'm sure some kids would enjoy. I will say, though, that this new one being kind of an all-in-one, no movement in that way, is very nice as well, so it can definitely go both ways. Both sets contain a feature to allow mail to flood throughout the house. In the case of the 2002 version, it's kept up above the chimney here, and you basically drop it out like this, and the mail falls down. So as nice as that was for 2002, all we have to do on this one, and it actually comes out of the physical like chimney that they built into the set with the fireplace and everything, like it just drops right out by spinning this knob. All the mail comes out and into the living room, and I like this one a lot better than the original feature. I think they're both decent features, but this one definitely is cooler in my opinion, and you kind of load them back up on the back side of the house here, just like this, through this very small slit. So it's hardly, oh, we do have to close this so they don't come back through. But through this very small slit here in the side of the house, they load in. And I really love that feature. It just fits in really nicely. It's very seamless. You don't notice it at all. There are no other real, like, physical moving play features on either set. In the 2020 set, you do get the cake that kind of drops on the family friends of the Dursleys, so that they don't have the actual character there, but you have Dobby, and you can pretend like he floats the cake in and drops it on somebody. And that's nice. That's a nice little feature that's kind of thrown in the set that definitely was not there in 2002. Another thing with the 2020 set that I think is leaps and bounds better than what we see in 2002 is going to be Harry Potter's room. Now on the left here, we have his room underneath the stairs. It's got his little cloak of invisibility, which is nice to have in there. But on the right here, we have an entire bedroom just kind of hidden away up underneath the stairwell. And while it is underneath the stairs on the other one, you can definitely see the difference here. This one is actually under the stairs. It has a little door to it on the other side with actually a vent sticker on it, which is wonderful. And then even on the inside here, you have a broom and a shovel, and then you actually have a little sticker in there with some of Harry's toys at the foot of his bed. So you can definitely see the difference between what you got in 2002 there and what LEGO was able to do in 2020 with pretty much the same amount of space. So let's talk design about these two sets. All right, good talk. All right, kidding aside, the 2002 set has one small area where I think it's actually better, maybe two. Okay, those chrome pieces on the front of the Weasley car are pretty nice. The new one definitely doesn't have any chrome, okay? But it actually is the way that the characters can sit side by side in the 2002 car. It just fits so nicely versus the newer car where they put the steering wheel in the center and they have you put Ron in the center. I just don't think that's as good as the way it worked in the 2002 car, and it's something that I wish they would have been able to bring into the 2020 revamp of the Weasley car. They're pretty much the same width, so I don't really see where the problem arose that didn't allow them to fit that in there. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit the way that you would think it would, and it's a little bit awkward in the interior in the newer one, in my opinion, compared to the interior of the older one. Other than that, I genuinely don't think there's one thing I could say that about the 2002 version is better than the 2020 version. The The roof shingling is way better. The actual house and the windows and everything, like the accuracy is just off the charts in this newer one. The plants on the outside of the old one, in my review, it's one of the saddest things I had ever seen, and it still is. The new one definitely knocks it out of the park with the plants. You have the mail stuffed into the door there that's trying to get through from the owls versus the old one where you just have nothing. The little 4 tile there is circular versus square, which I think looks better. And do I really have to point out how dull the interior looks on the 2002 set versus the 2020 set? LEGO did a number on this set in 2002, and they've definitely made it right in 2020 with all the new pieces and colors and things they have at their disposal. It definitely shows here. And because this category is supposed to encompass displayability, yes, the new one will look better on display. Unless you're just into bad-looking LEGO sets and you want a display of literally just bad-looking LEGO sets, then 2002 is your set. But otherwise, you're going to want to pick that new one up for display. And all that leads us into the value category. $45 in 2020 versus $70 in 2020. And mind you, you probably can't even get this set for $45. I feel like I paid about $200 for it sealed in box. So when you look at it that way, this is obviously the better value. But even still, if you were able to pay $45 for this versus $70 for this, why would you not pay the extra $25? Like I said, unless you want an ugly LEGO set for your ugly LEGO set collection, there is absolutely no reason you should be buying that set over this one, especially all things being equal, like price and everything. Like, there's just no reason to not spend the extra money, or especially because this is retired, if you're trying to buy sealed sets, not spend the extra money and get the newer one. Like, it just is so worth the extra money as far as like retail price and everything goes versus the older one. The updated figures, the updated car. Like I said, there is one aspect I like better about the old car, but still the new car looks leaps and bounds better, and that's very obvious. And the new house is just way better. So I think that the value is definitely got to go to the 2020 set. And with the newer set, with a 4-0 lead over the older set, we head into M&R opinion. I think that it's very obvious to the casual observer that the new set is just leaps and bounds better. I don't feel like I have very much to say as far as my opinion goes, because I feel like everything else I've said in this video pretty well encompasses why the newer set is better. Not that you can just look at it with your own eyes and tell that for yourself. I don't feel like I had to sit here and say it for 15 minutes, you know? So the new set definitely is going to be winning this video by a mile. There's just no competition here. 18 years, really, LEGO has changed a lot, from the colors that they have available to their design philosophy to the way they do their figures, especially with the height of the legs. That's something that is a huge difference than the older ones. In the color of the skin tone, that's another thing that kind of doesn't get talked about a lot with these newer sets compared to some of the older Harry Potter sets, is just how accurate these figures are comparatively. So there is just a wildly large difference between these two sets, and there is absolutely no reason to buy the old set unless you're a completionist or have nostalgia for it. So that is it for this M&R comparison. If you guys did enjoy, a like is greatly appreciated. If you want to let me know what set you think is better in the comments section below, I'd love to hear devil's advocate for the O2 version. Definitely do that, because I'm curious. Unfortunately, polls got taken away by YouTube, so we can't do that. But if you want to check out some other LEGO Harry Potter set reviews and other LEGO videos in general, you can check them out on the end screen now.